What are some things that sound like compliments but are actually insults? See you later. Not if I see you first. It took me so long to realize that phrase actually meant that if that person saw you first they would find a way to avoid you so you don't see them. As a director of high school theater, if a parent says it looks like everyone on stage had a good time, it means no one in the audience enjoyed this show. Even though it can be used as a compliment, more often than not I hear they're just a free spirit used as a subtle way of saying they make bad decisions. My mother is a gold mine for these. It is so nice you can focus on your newborn and not worry about what your house looks like. I love that you don't care what people think of you. Many others that have already been stated. An older gentleman I used to work with would tell people at work they were sufficient. I worked with a music producer who had to take a few gigs early on producing for young female singers who often were not very talented but had a lot of money to give him for his work. Instead of lying to them when they'd ask for his feedback on each take, he'd say things like, "Wow, that was something, you really did your thing, that was so you." Now whenever I'm forced to politely react to people I don't like, mostly in the context of work, I always use one of the above if I'm unimpressed. LOL. My dad thinks babies are inherently ugly, so when people show him baby pics or whatever he just says, "Now that's a baby." Anything involving the word brave. "You are such an adventurous dresser. I wish I was brave like that." I love what you tried to do with your hair. It really draws the eye away from your teeth. Whenever someone shows you a picture of their newborn child you go, "Oh, it's so small." There's nothing quite like biting British civility. How interesting equals you are incredibly dull, fascinating equals how tedious, delightful equals dreadful. Before I retired, I was once asked by our HR department to write a non-lawsuit producing reference for a former employee of mine that I had a pretty low opinion of. I wrote that they always met my expectations. Good thing you are pretty. You so beautiful that you could be a part-time model. My grandpa is famous for saying you look good today. He is a funny guy, LOL. A male friend of my sister once told her, "You know, if you had half a brain you'd be dangerous." That was 30 years ago and she still can't figure out if it was an insult or a compliment. Anytime a compliment is followed by, "for once," or "for a change," egg, your hair looks nice for once. When my boss first asked me to find his wife for some reason, I asked what she looked like and he said, "Look for the only older woman who looks like she has no business being with a guy like me." He wasn't wrong. I had a woman at my last high school reunion tell me, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe it's you. You're so handsome now." Years ago I was visiting London and I was in a sort of sandwich shop, and the employees there were goofing around a bit. One of them had glasses and the other one wanted to try them on. And when he puts them on he looks in the mirror and says, "I look good with these glasses on," and the other lad goes, "Yeah, because your face is all covered up anyways, that's all." Quality banter. When I worked in retail, my favorite one for rude customers was, "I hope the rest of your day is as pleasant as you are." Had this recently from my manager, "You seem to do a great job with insert disorganized client's name here because you are so alike. Took me a couple of minutes to work that one out." Bless your heart. I just love the explanation of this in Wikipedia. It is also sometimes used to mean you are dumb or otherwise impaired, but you can't help it by individuals who wish to be sweet and do not wish to act ugly. Brutal. At work, whenever anyone does anything nice for me, I'll always hit them with a "WW, thanks. You know, it's not true what people say about you. You're alright." Then I'll leave without elaborating. My French sister-in-law said to me, at a family get-together, "Your skin is so smooth, you hardly have any wrinkles. That's the advantage of being overweight." My biology teacher in high school used to love telling people I don't care what anyone else says. You're alright. It's impossible to underestimate you. I got this from a previous Reddit thread, and I love how it sounds so much like a compliment. It takes people a while to realize it's not, if they realize at all. Last week one of my professors told me I think you actually think a lot more deeply than you let on sometimes. I laughed awkwardly and said thanks. Last week one of my professors told me I think you actually think a lot more deeply than you let on sometimes. I laughed awkwardly and said thanks. Oh, you speak really good English for an Asian person, or the baby was really cute looking for a black baby. I've heard these from other people before. You look great for your age. I love that you're confident enough to not care about looks. You're beautiful when you smile. Why are you still single and anything ending in for a insert demographic? In middle school one of my good friends met my older brother for the first time and felt the need to say, oh my gosh, your brother is so hot. You two look nothing alike. Stung a bit. You really seem so confident in yourself. Despite everything, it's reassuring for me. Why are you single? It's basically asking, so what's wrong with you that isn't obvious at the moment?